and welcome back to the Graceful Tingle YouTube channel. I am so excited to be with you guys today talking about a brand new pattern release. This one is super special because it was in collaboration with another wonderful maker, and I am so grateful to finally be releasing it out to you guys. So without further ado, this is the Firework socks. So obviously the pattern is for a pair. I'm just showing one so that you can, focus on just one for this video. But I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes talking about this pattern, talking about the sock, and showing you a little tutorial. So first up, the sock itself, this is a cuff down sock pattern. So you start up here at the cuff, you work all the way down, and then kitchener the toe together. It features a lace repeat on the first half of the sock and then a stockinette back, which I just love for sock designing. I think it provides, a nice clean slate on the back, a little break in knitting for that second half of the stitches per row, but at the same time it's a really fun way to showcase something fun on the front. So I think it's really nice. Now, this pattern also features an afterthought heel, but you are more than welcome to substitute any heel that you prefer, and instructions are included for the pattern on exactly how you can do that. So don't hesitate to switch around the heel or the toe to suit your fancy. I definitely want to make that, easily interchangeable for this pattern. Now, like I said, this is in collaboration with another wonderful maker. I partnered with Lauren of 24 Threads to bring you this pattern, and this yarn was dyed by her. So here's a little close-up of the yarn. I am just so obsessed with it. I think it turned out so beautiful. Lauren is so talented, so I will link her shop down below so that you can purchase this yarn for yourself, not for her. She doesn't need it purchased. But I hope you love it just as much as I do. I know Lauren really hopes you love it as well. So we are so excited to bring you this pattern and yarn combo. I will link to all of the places where you can find the pattern in the description box below. But first, I wanted to show you what a full repeat looks like in this lace stitch pattern. So let's hop into that little tutorial right now. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you how to work one repeat for the lace section of this sock. So don't be intimidated by it. It is really not difficult. In this case, it is definitely easier to do than it looks just on the sock. But I wanted to provide this visual aid anyway because there's a couple of little interesting techniques that can be a little bit hard to really understand through just written instructions. So here we go. I have my second sock here. I'm going to slide this one out of the way. I have worked my cuff, and then I have worked one full repeat. So I did my setup round and then my 4 rounds consisting of one repeat. So I've done a total of 5 rounds for my leg, and now I'm going to start the pattern repeat. So this is the same for all sizes. That setup round allows it to be the same. So now I'm going to start with round 1. So for round 1 of our repeat, we're going to knit 2 on needle 1, then we're going to yarn over and knit 3. Now here's where it gets just a little bit interesting. We are going to bring that first stitch that we knit up and over the second 2 stitches that we knit. Just like that. So our stitch count is not going to change because we have that yarn over in there. So even though we technically decrease a stitch, it's immediately made up by this yarn over. So we're just going to repeat that all the way across until we have 1 stitch remaining. So again, that is yarn over, knit 3, 2, and 3. Bring that first stitch over the second 2. And there we go. Yarn over, knit 3, 2, and 3, and bring that first stitch over the second 2, just like so. Again, we're going to repeat that all the way across this needle until we have just 1 stitch remaining. Now, I'm not going to speed up the video here. I want you to be able to see in real time how this stitch is done. Yarn over, knit 3, bring that very first stitch that you knit up and over the second 2. So we're not bringing that yarn over, over the stitches, we're bringing that first stitch that we actually knit. Easy to get tongue-tied when you're talking through these knitting stitches. Okay, up and over the needle, yarn over, knit 3, bring that first stitch up and over the second 2, and then last time, yarn over, knit 3, bring that first stitch up and over, oh, there we go, the second 2, and now we're just going to knit that last stitch. Now for needle 2, we are just going to knit across. This is the same for all rounds. Needle 2 will always be knit. It's going to have a stockinette back. Now if you're using a different method of knitting in the round, such as DPNs or 9-inch circulars, this is simply the second half of my stitches. So I'm knitting the size small, so half of my stitches is 28 stitches. So for the first half, the first 28 stitches, I'm doing the lace pattern. For the second set of 28 stitches, I am doing stockinette, which is just knitting every round. It's my favorite thing about knitting in the round, hands down, is the fact that it is stockinette just by knitting every stitch. It's amazing. Okay, and now I'm to the end of needle 2. Now for round 2, we are just going to knit all of the stitches, and that is the same for rounds 2 and 4 of our repeat. We're just going to knit all of the stitches, knit through that yarn over just like you would a normal stitch. So just go into the front, even though it's a bit loose, and knit it as normal. Don't worry about twisting the stitch to eliminate that hole or anything like that. The hole is what gives us this beautiful lace texture, so we most definitely want to keep it nice and loose. Alrighty, I'm approaching the end of my needle here. Just a few more stitches to go. As you can see, this lace pattern is not difficult at all, and it has those nice knit rounds in between each patterned round, so it makes it nice and mindless as well. I really, really love this stitch pattern. Okay, and now I am to needle 2 again, so I'm just going to knit all of these stitches just like I did before. This is a great way to just take a little break for that second half of the round and knit all the way across. Okay, I'm about halfway done here. And I will link the needles that I'm using down below if you're curious. These are definitely my favorite needles for sock knitting. Alrighty, so now we are starting round 3, which is our second patterned row and our last for this specific stitch pattern repeat. We're going to start off by knitting 1, and then we are going to work our repeat. So we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Bring that first stitch that we knit up and over the other 2, just like we did in the first round. And then we are going to yarn over and knit 3 again. So knit those 3 stitches, bring that first stitch that we knit up and over the second 2. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. Yarn over, knit 3, bring that first stitch up and over the second 2. Knit 3, oh, there we go, I did yarn over, I thought I missed it. Then knit, bring that first stitch that we knit up and over the second 2, and yarn over, working all the way across here. Yarn over, knit 3, bring that first knit stitch up and over the second 2, yarn over, knit 3, again, first stitch up and over the second 2, yarn over, knit 3, last time, up and over the second 2. And now we're going to finish off by yarning over and knitting these last 2 stitches. And there we go. So now again, I am to the back of my sock. So I'm going to knit all the way across this needle. Just knit all of these stitches, almost to the end here. And then we will begin round 4, which is our last round in our repeat. Okay. Round 4 is exactly the same as round 2. We are just going to knit all of the stitches on both needles or all the way around your sock, depending on your method. So I'm just going to knit all of the stitches all the way around. Again, this is a nice break in between each pattern row, and it's really nice to be able to start seeing that stitch pattern begin to form. I really, really love the way that it looks. I think it's so fun. Kind of going along with the theme, it kind of looks like exploding fireworks with all of the eyelets, and the bringing that stitch over the other two results in that little dash there, and I think that looks so fun. And as you can see, it is not difficult to do. Okay, now I'm to the end of that needle, and then I'm just going to knit across my second needle in the back of my sock. And then we will be complete with this lace pattern repeat. Knitting all of these stitches. Again, really, really like the little break that's built into this sock with the stockinette back. I think it's really, really nice. Alrighty, down to my last few stitches. And there we go. So there is one repeat, and keep in mind that you can adjust the length of your leg by just adding more or less repeats. It's a really easy way to customize your sock so that it suits your fancy. I hope you found this little tutorial helpful. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and found it super helpful. I really wanted to provide a visual aid for you guys to work this stitch pattern because I know it's a little unique, a little different, but it's also not complicated, as you will have seen. So of course I am here to answer any and all questions that you may have, but don't be intimidated. I challenge you to go for it and just work this beautiful lace stitch pattern because I think it is so pretty and a really good way to kind of test your knitting skills. So I hope you enjoy it. Now, like I mentioned, the pattern will be linked in the description box below, as well as Lauren's shop for you to find this yarn for yourself. I hope you enjoy it, and I cannot wait to see your finished socks. Until then, happy knitting. Bye!